So I'm playing Townsville and I'm watching Key and Bill. Between them, there's Max. He's snoring like a motherfucker. Oop. I don't know if it affected the recording. Flip. Just flip that screen. Probably not. There's just. Head upside down. I don't like how this game recorder, like your screen times out on it. So you think about the recording, it would keep it out live, but it doesn't. So I'm playing Townsville and I'm watching Key and Bill, and this is what Gangstalkers, at least mine, do. So these are trains that you fill with produce and other items, other food items that you make from produce. And so here's a tomato one that I'm growing tomatoes right now to fill it. This one had tomatoes in it, as did this, I believe. And I already filled that one. And so, like, I'm watching Key and Peele. Like, I did this, and I did some other things, and then we'll flip back to Key and Peele. I'm playing an old episode, and in one part of it, they go, the guy goes, and this is literally like within minutes of each other. And he goes, tomato, tomato. And they're like, ooh, tomato, tomato, this. And then they were like, it also is double. Because I've got this, this booster applied right now so that when I harvest crops, there's two of them. See the times two? And so when these tomatoes grow, I'll get 2 tomatoes for each square instead of one. That's a temporary thing that I have for the next 14 hours and 24 minutes. And the other thing that they made a big deal about earlier is this thing. This particular item that I'm looking to, you can buy items that, to speed up things with money that you make from selling things through other things. And so in this one, the price of this keeps changing. The amounts of them might keep changing too. But at one point it was like under 400, or it was exactly 400. And they're like, ooh, 400 is the highway that you take to Canton, Georgia from Atlanta. That's where your dad lives. And then it changed to something like under 400 at one point. And then I think it was for the same amount too. And then the next time I came up here, the amount fluctuated and it was 409. And they're like, ooh, 409 was your room number at the Wood Spring last year, which it was. Or actually the year before that, I think. It was 409 when I was there for 2 or 3 months. Yeah, the year before that, I believe. And they were like, and it just happened to be also the exact amount of the room after taxes fell off. So like, ooh, we orchestrated that. Ooh, we manipulated it so that you would get room 409. And there's a whole thing about 409 and 309. Not just, it has nothing to do with the number itself really, but it has to do with the situation in which they made it seem like the maintenance man was in on it. And I called that out in my document, and you think my dad would praise that for pointing out how they create paranoia. And I give examples in there of how they do it and how they risk people's lives and how they try to get the victims to hurt other people or suspect other people, like the sketchy caravan of doom. But my dad doesn't even know that, and he doesn't get it. And he still wants me to kill myself. He wants me to have the worst timeline in the world. Otherwise, he would put money to buy a PayPal account immediately and would do so without hesitation. He could do so right now, and he could do so within a few seconds successfully. And that would give me hope. For which he's contributed, which he's done the opposite of, and he's contributed to pushing me down and letting me drown in a sea of hopelessness. And I concur with those statements. But they made a big deal about that. Ooh, 409, it keeps changing. And they make other things, like when I'm doing helicopter orders, and they're like, ooh, this is special, ooh, this is special, this is special, this is special, this is special. And none of it is. They just try to make it special. I have met victims that went through something similar. I met a guy a few months ago that was going through something similar, and he was in jail 2 months, and he was like, this number, this cell number, this number came up, and this number came up. And I was like, I know, that's them. He's like, God told me to come over and talk to you. And they were like, yeah, we're going to make this about this. We're going to make this guy kind of like Rule and Aaron. And he had a similar backstory. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's not God. That's people taking advantage of your faith. Oop. Good night. Hey, Max. I love you. I hate you, Dad.